All right, welcome. Today, we're diving into a masterclass for engineers on how to hunt down information. Seriously, we're going to build a powerful strategy using a guide to writing as an engineer as our blueprint so you can find exactly what you need right when you need it. So, does it ever feel like you're just drowning in data? Yeah, you're not imagining it. As an engineer, you are smack in the middle of a massive information explosion. The amount of scientific knowledge out there is literally doubling every few years, which, creates a pretty huge challenge. So how in the world do you find the signal in all that noise?
Okay, here's our game plan. First, we'll get a handle on just how big this information explosion really is. Then, we're going to build a search strategy from the ground up. After that, we'll map out all the different kinds of resources and the tools to navigate them, and we'll wrap up with what I think is the engineer's secret weapon for any hands-on project.
So why is a strategy so important? Well, in a world with basically infinite information, searching without a plan is like trying to find one specific grain of sand on an entire beach. It's just not going to happen. That's why having a real strategy has gone from a nice to have to an absolute must. I mean, just let this sink in for a second. The entire library of scientific knowledge could literally double by the time you finish your degree. That is the insane reality we're all dealing with, and it's exactly why just randomly Googling stuff is pretty much doomed to fail.
So, how do we handle this beast? Simple. We treat it like an expedition. You've got to plan your route before you take a single step. The most important part of any search happens before you even open a web browser. It's all about creating a map, so you know exactly where you're going. And this is the core of that map. It's a super simple three-step process. Before you type a single word, you have to define your purpose, identify the type of information you're looking for, and specify your exact needs. Answering these three questions up front will save you from going down so many pointless rabbit holes. Let's just focus on that first step for a second. Purpose. Think of this as the compass for your entire search. Are you trying to find information to select a piece of equipment, or are you researching a scientific paper? Those are two completely different journeys. Nailing down your purpose first is going to save you hours, maybe even days of wasted time. And right after that, you have to get real with a few practical questions. How much time do you actually have? Hours, days, weeks? What do you already have access to, like through your university or company? And the big one, is there a budget? Are you willing to pay for information? Your answers here will immediately narrow down where you should even think about starting your search. Okay, so with a solid plan in hand, it's time to understand the terrain. There is a whole world of resources out there, and believe me, knowing the difference between them is the key to working smart, not just hard. First up, we've got journals. You should think of these as the absolute front lines of discovery. If you need the latest, most cutting-edge, peer-reviewed findings in your field, this is where you go. They are absolutely essential for staying current, no question. Then you have technical reports. Now, these are the deep dives. We're talking incredibly detailed documents on specific research projects, a lot of times funded by huge groups like NASA or big corporations. If you need the real nitty-gritty data from a major project, a technical report is probably your best bet. And hey, don't sleep on patents. They are so much more than just legal documents. They are treasure troves of engineering detail. A patent has to describe an invention so clearly that somebody else could build it, which means they are just packed with specifics on materials, designs, and processes. Right, so we have our map, we know the terrain. Now what? Now we need the right tools to actually navigate this landscape. I mean, you can't just sift through millions of articles by hand. You need specialized tools to zero in on what's actually relevant. When it comes to finding research, two tools are absolutely essential: indexes and abstracts. The easiest way to think about an index is like a massive searchable table of contents for thousands of journals at once. And an abstract, that's just a quick summary of an article. Modern databases combine both, letting you search for keywords and then read the little summaries to see if an article is worth your time. And here are a few of the heavy hitters. Look how specialized they are. InSpec is all about electrical engineering, while ScienceDirect gives you this huge, broad access to science. The key thing to realize is these aren't just general search engines. No, these are precision instruments designed specifically for scientific and engineering research. So this is what it actually looks like in practice. When you're in a real database, you're not just typing a simple phrase. You can get super specific. You can tell it that your keywords have to be in the title or in the abstract. You can filter by author, by date. This is the kind of control that lets you cut through all that noise we were talking about earlier.
It's a game changer. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about the kind of information that bridges that gap between pure theory and the real world. This is for when you're not just researching an idea, you're actually trying to build something. This is what I like to call the engineer's secret weapon. I absolutely love this quote because it is 100% true. A gold mine? It's so easy to overlook. But the catalogs, the spec sheets, the user guides that manufacturers put out, they're unbelievably valuable. When you need to get your hands dirty on a design project, this is where you go. And here's a perfect example. A spec sheet for a pretty simple butterfly valve gives you everything you need for a design. I mean, dimensions, down to the hundredth of an inch, operating temperatures, pressure ratings, materials. This isn't theory. This is the hard, practical data you absolutely have to build things that actually work. And right alongside product literature are standards. These documents, from groups like ANSI and ISO, are basically the rule books of engineering. They're what makes sure products are safe, reliable, and compatible with each other. Knowing how to find and apply the right standards is a non-negotiable skill for any practicing engineer. So as we start to wrap this up, let's just zoom out for a second. The real takeaway here isn't some list of websites. It's a mindset. Learning how to search, how to be a strategic researcher, is a skill that will help you for your entire career. It's every bit as important as any technical formula you'll ever learn. So there you have it. We've covered the map, the terrain, and the tools. That information explosion, it's not a threat. It's a massive opportunity. And now you have a framework for navigating it with real purpose and precision. So the only question left is, what are you going to go out and discover?